Ascension Consolidated Gravity Drainage District Board meeting April 4, 2013. It's called to order. Mr. Shakespeare, would you do the invocation?
Dear Lord, we want to thank you for all the good things that you've given us as citizens here in the great Ascension Parish. We'd like to ask you that you allow us to come here tonight and do your bidding and make good decisions for the people, and that as we all return home, everyone returns home safely. We ask all this in their name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mr. Shakespeare and myself is here, Mr. Ronnie Fairchild, and Mr. George Rodriguez. Westside Manager Craig Anderson is not here.
Craig won't be able to come.
Okay. All right. Accepting the minutes.
Move that they be accepted.
All right.
February 7th.
Second. No objection. Minutes is approved. Master drainage and covered right-of-ways update. Mr. Ronnie Fairchild.
Okay, all our paperwork's complete. We've turned everything over. We are waiting the okay from the board to proceed with our right-of-ways.
And I guess legal, I guess we still negotiating or working with that. And I just want to keep it on there and say we constantly working with that. All right. Moving on, item number 5, 7th Street drainage problem update. I talked to Mr. Delaney and the mayor briefly. They are still in whatever they're doing from the city point of view, looking at this thing. And I don't know, Georgia, you were supposed to give them another tape or something.
No, they have the same copy of the video that the surveyor did, that Ronnie had found. Mayor's got a copy because we split the fees. So we got a copy, they got a copy. At the last city council meeting I attended where this was addressed, Councilman Delaney was going to go to the mayor's office and they were going to view that video and try to come up with some determination. Okay, it all goes back to the wrong culvert being installed at the time they placed that driveway. So that's where it is right now. No one's gotten back to me. Right?
Okay, yeah, George pretty well summed it up. In the video, it specifically named those spots where the cave-in's at. The camera couldn't get through, and you could see a different type covert. They installed at some point in time. They installed a metal covert, and that seems to have collapsed. And that's where that's exactly where the dirt keeps falling in. That's where the sinkhole's coming from.
Okay, because I can tell you those two landowners or two homes where those driveway are caving in, I mean, they are actually caving in a whole lot more, and they're getting more aggressive.
And you know, extension farm, we did turn a price into the city for that part, but they could not get through that part. That will have to be repaired first before they can extension farm it, and that can be done if that's repaired.
And Ronnie, if you don't mind bringing me Mr. Shakespeare up to speed, what is that price?
It was $65,000, I believe, for the one part that he couldn't get to. I've got that email from the.
All right, about
company.
65, and that'd be.
I think we sent that email to the city.
Yeah.
We did send it to them. I think y'all saw that email too.
Yes.
So it's just basically a split cost with that. I think that's what we're trying to work out or something like that, or.
Whatever.
Again, it was up to the mayor and the city council to come up with some kind of conclusion on their part on what they wanted to do.
Okay.
Ronnie, like again now, like Mr. Fairchild said, the total job could not be defined because we could not video the entire 270 small feet or something like that.
You know, everything is in footage, and that footage was right at where the cave-in is at.
So it can be greater than with that number?
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because again, with that wrong 2 sections of culvert installed in that spot, that's why the camera cannot get by from either end and exactly 100% say, yeah, we can line the whole thing.
And from what I saw, you know, the rest of it is okay, pretty good. But if those 2 spots are fixed, it wouldn't have no cave-in.
Right.
You really wouldn't have to line the rest of it, because it's in normal shape for how old it is. But
Okay.
those two spots has to be dug up, basically. And
I mean,
replaced.
Driveway torn up.
basically, we're waiting for the
City,
city to do that part.
Yes.
Okay.
okay. All right, thank you on that. All right, moving on to item number 6. Mr. Fairchild, I think I asked you on the state covers, some input on the state size of the state cover.
All that was taken in, you know,
Uh-huh.
the drafting has been completed, so we have some stamp prints, you know, if ever we want to put it out for bids, we have some prints to put it out.
Okay.
I spoke with them this week.
I didn't get a copy of that, of the last one. I got one of the one was done a couple of years
Got the
ago.
east side, yeah, okay, the new one.
Yeah, I
they
haven't
just
got-
They upgraded those prints with a engineer stamp, with our engineer stamp, with
All
that
right.
Primo stamp on it, is what they done.
Okay,
He went back over the whole thing and
Kent, did you get a copy of
revised
that?
certain parts of it.
I had seen it at some point in time.
Plus, I don't think y'all have the revised
all
one
right.
stamp.
If you don't mind, Ronnie, can you get us a copy of that so we can, then we can talk about what direction we'll go with it. Appreciate it. Item number 7, St. James Assumption Drainage. I know my name is on here, but George, I'm gonna refer to you. I hope you,
Well, I've got a little update, but I don't have much. Let me tell you about a couple issues. This month, last month, March, I attended the Lower Delta and New River Soil and Water Compensation District Board of Supervisors work groups down in Pinkerville. We went over most of the same issues that we did last year. Again, I just attended as a guest. They asked me to come. They vote on funding priorities. Even though the state has renamed some of these funding priorities, they're still the same. Basically, the board voted to keep the same order. I had Ms. Peggy put a copy in your folder of the minutes from that meeting. You will see the one that got the highest points, again, is ponding, flooding, seasonal water. That's the one that, don't ask me why the state's got drifted snow in there, but that's the one that they use to define the drainage problem that we had last year. So through my discussions with them, they kept that as their #1 funding priority. So they're all in agreement with us. They agree, okay? I know that Mr. Fairchild was working with some of the St. James group and so this board was going to attend, and they were going to try to make a trip and see what this looked like, what the problems look like. I told them good luck. I think they're going to do that by helicopter. From what I've seen, overhead pictures, going down there with a boat or a four-wheeler is not going to work, okay? But they are with us. They're with us. They're still with us since the last meetings I've had over here. I have not heard from Mr. Chenier. I've asked the parish president to contact St. James Parish president and see if he can get a little help with this and see if we can kind of get this meeting scheduled up a little bit. Now, what I did today for you guys, if you want it, I did copy the results of the T. Baker Smith survey that they did for St. James. So if you guys want a copy of this and go over it in the next couple of days or whatever, you can. It's up to you. I'll give it to you after the meeting.
Basically, they said those canals need to be cleaned out. I mean,
Well, if you're totally familiar with the drainage in the area, and Ronnie can verify this, one of the biggest problems you have is that Bayou Napoleon, after it crosses, leaves us, goes through a short part of Assumption Parish, then goes in to St. James Parish, the drainage actually turns and goes back north before it can tie into St. James and go back south where it should be in the first place. In this project documents that I'm going to give you, you will see that. And of course, they're recommending it is cutting a new drainage ditch and going south instead of back up north. Again, that's only part of the problem, because the majority of the problem is the shrubs, the bush, the trees, the hurricane debris that's been there since who knows when, okay? But they're all aware of it. So hopefully parish president will get some action or agreement from St. James president. Maybe we can get together and look at theirs and see what the plan is.
Why, President? Well,
Yes.
Mr.
We'll
President.
be glad to go meet with them there.
That's right.
That's where we stand, on that issue.
All right. I know we're
Yeah,
saying,
because
St. James,
I'm
how about the
sure
levy
they'll-
board, the levy district over there? Have you contacted anybody with them on that, George? Because I thought
Yeah,
someone said that.
I went to their last meeting. Tommy asked me to go in his place. I went to the last meeting, and that was brought up there also. But again, it's kind of at a standstill, you know. That levy district got some in this area and some further down south that's really not concerned with the problem that we're trying to address. So, but they are aware of it. And again, I think the place we need to do is exactly like the parish president and I talked about. We need to start with St. James, and we need to go from there. We need to make sure that this survey that they did is also in the hands of the levy district, and also possibly in the hands of the Corps, and see where help can come from. Okay? It's going to cost a pretty good bit of money.
Yeah, because I don't know if it was Ronnie or something, but the levee board's the only one had the type of equipment to dig out or do
Well, I
the
think-
work, I think it was.
I think
And
the
I'm
Corps
not
does
sure.
too.
Yeah.
I think it's the Corps.
It's the Corps?
When-
Okay.
When we met with St. James, they have our prints. We gave them a copy of our study that we had, and, you know, they was, where they talked, they was ready for it. You know, they wanted to encourage, but the fact that we had, that was one big step, having the study. They were looking at it and was gonna get back with us, and we hadn't heard anything since.
And
last.
again, from that meeting that Ronnie and I had, was for them to do this. And when they got through with this, then we would have the meeting and see what could be done. And it's all in this book. I'll give it to you and you'll see. The problem is, let's turn that one canal back to the south and we can get the drain, clean out it,
Yeah.
and get the drainage.
Okay.
I think that would help a lot. And-
Oh, absolutely.
And
Oh, absolutely.
at that meeting, I'm sure they're going to have some of their own concerns also
Yeah.
that we'll see from there, so.
Yeah, and one of the biggest concerns is wetlands.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it flows north, it hits head on, they want to turn it, and where it's all headed south. And
But at the last meeting that was attended here, the one that I had in the courthouse, we had a lot of property owners in St. James Parish attend that meeting, or their representatives. And they were in full agreement that this needed to be done because the drainage, lack of drainage problems was causing problems to their properties also.
Right.
So they could get help from the property owners.
Okay.
And let's just have the meeting and let's go from there.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Mr.
you.
President, good. Appreciate it very much. All right. That's number 7. Item number 8, report. George, Westside Coordinator, you have anything?
Yeah, let me give you a couple of updates. Okay, you have a copy of those meeting minutes I gave you. The railroad has held 2 separate pre-bid conferences to clean out the covers on the railroad track. The reason they had a second, put the bid out again, was because they only had 1 bid that they received from the first pre-bid conference. From the second pre-bid conference, they only got 1 bid, the same as the first. I talked yesterday to Freshwater District, who was dealing straight with the railroad. Because it's only 1 and they don't have a choice, then their guy had to send that all the way up, and the vice president from the railroad had to sign off on it. So it's going to be done. It's just, they know who's going to do it, so it's just waiting for him to sign off. When he signs off on it, they have already told the contractor they want it done as soon as possible. Then railroad would notify Freshwater District, and they'll notify me, and we can go out there and watch and see it get done and see what happens.
Good.
Okay? And the problem was the one that bid and got the bid, the only one to bid, was actually the one that did the first dive to see what was in there.
Okay.
So the rest
know.
of the contractors were kind of tentative about making a bid and not being 100% sure what's inside. So that's where they're staying at, and that should be, I think within the next month, we ought to get that done. Okay? Craig's not here, so we're doing a lot of drainage work down there on 943 by the energy substation because we were called in by them. The substation was flooded. We're still working on that. There's going to be a lot of improvement in the drainage in that area when they get through. I paid a visit to them this afternoon about 2, and they were still steady working on it. That's going to really help out that area. So, and I've been working with energy on it. They know they're updated. So it's all going well.
George, if you don't mind, basically just that overview, I mean, we are aware with it, but Energy called us in because their water was reaching a level to affect their substation, correct?
Yeah, but it wasn't flooded, Chairman. It was just that they were getting some water in the yard, and there were some problems. And some of the problems were caused by culverts that were put there a long time ago, which really didn't even need to be there. And of course, silt built up in these ditches over its period of time. We're digging it out, remove some of the culverts that they let us remove, which is going to help. So we're getting there. It's going to be done right. It won't be much longer.
Okay.
Part of their problem, they spray constantly in their yard, and all their yard is drained into the roadside ditch. And that when we clean that ditch out, that's going to be the biggest part of their problem.
Yeah.
Alongside Station Road itself on the north side.
They've got one more culvert I'd like to see removed. It's a walkway that they really don't use. I've called Energy twice today. I was told I was going to get a call back on it, and I haven't gotten it back yet. I'm hoping
I know
they'll
which
let me
one you're
remove
talking
that
about.
also. I'm trying, but they may not let us remove it. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Mr. Ronnie Fairchild, anything?
Yeah.
Yep. Setting the date for next month meeting and time, May 2nd at 5:15.
We good.
We good? All right, that is the date. Item number 9.
Move to adjourn.
Second, meeting adjourned.
Hey, by the way, hey, John.